This is how people with mental health issues are commonly perceived and treated in society, as though they've nothing useful to contribute, as though their lives are lived on the edge or in the margins, which is often the case, that they are not necessarily individuals of value. There are whole tracts of my life that I don't remember very clearly. I can look back at instances of behavior or at things I've said and I'd think, why did I do or say that? That's not like me. And in the aftermath of these episodes, you find yourself thinking, what did I do? Why? Who knows about it? It's unnerving. And so when people treat you that way, sometimes you think, I deserve it. One of the things I like about Anna is that she tries to stand up for herself. My other response is that not only is this how mental health individuals are treated, it's how women are commonly treated. So often, police and other officials seem to take a more skeptical view of women than they do of men. Had this character been a man, I don't doubt that the police would have treated her as more credible than they do as a woman. So I do see parallels. I'm going to state this very gingerly. I'm not comparing women to mental health patients, but I do see parallels between the way these two figures or communities are treated.
I mean, structurally, in terms of discrimination, I understand. I mean, yeah, of
Yes.
course. That, in terms of how, well, I mean, let's talk a little bit about your story then, because if there were one or two things you would want people to know, for example, before we come back to your journey as a publisher to multi-millionaire author and best-selling.
Sure, that's the fun part.
If there was, I mean, I think what comes across when we're talking about compassion, kindness, but if there was one message you had for friends and families or loved ones of people who are suffering from mental health conditions, what would that be?
I would say, I actually know this, I have it in my back pocket. I would urge people who are suffering from a mental health issue, and I would remind those who care about them, and even those who don't know much about them, that there's nothing wrong with them. Suffering from a mental health issue is not the most interesting aspect of you. It is not the second most interesting aspect of you. It is not the 20th most interesting. It is just an aspect of you. It doesn't mean you're flawed. It doesn't mean you're defective. In some ways, it can prove an asset. As I said earlier, I've learned a lot about resilience and a lot about empathy.
Yeah.
I remember reading a book by Andrew Solomon, who's an American nonfiction writer. This book is called The Noonday Demon, an Atlas of Depression, and it's a history of depression throughout the past few millennia. And Andrew Solomon himself struggles with depression. He said, I would not trade my depression for anything. And I thought, if I would. If he wants more, he can have mine. But it doesn't work that way. So that's my message to those. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. And it's more than just this label, like you're saying. It's just one aspect
Yeah.
of many. I think that's really powerful. Thank you for that.